Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to your Martini lunch. How are you doing? I hope everybody is rolling. Um, we do not want to learn about nasty bean water here. So, anyway, welcome in. Already got dogs harassing me, the dogs are always after my martinis. Why? I don't know. Un momento while I step over to the door to say, no, no. In or out? You go out. You're playing traffic. Alright, we have dogs playing in traffic. Good times. Are you here? Let's do this. It's the Martini lunchtime. Thank you for coming in. I hope you're having a good time. Hope you've got your tasty beverage. You got a fine lunch has been brought to your table. Maybe you're sitting in your car. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, hopefully it doesn't involve wearing pants. So, a few little quick notes on the news. Democrats embrace politically risky strategy on rising gas prices. This only matters because gas is now $5 a gallon. Last night, diesel fuel was $4.99. These are Tennessee prices. $4.99 a gallon. Let's see here. When was this? Yesterday, President Let's Go Brandon, the congressional Democrats united Tuesday behind a ban on Russian oil and natural gas imports, embracing a politically risky strategy that is expected to drive up already rising fuel costs while seeking to pin the blame for Americans paying at the pump on Vladimir Putin. The buck stops at the president's desk. All of this to blame is because, oh, I have to listen to the guy that played the Incredible Hulk in the Avenger movies, and I don't want to put pipelines through sacred grounds of Desolate Dakota, or wherever the hell it is. And we're going to ban the pipelines. We're going to ban making new gasolines because what we really need is cars that run on coal. Because that's where electricity comes from. They won't build nuclear power plants. They want all of our stupid ass windmills are falling apart. 5 years, 5 freaking years, they're falling down, falling apart. When's the last time you heard anything about that solar power plant out in California? They're making sun chips or whatever out of. Yeah, it's all dumb. It's all smoke and mirrors. And this is not positive to anybody. It just says Democrats unite and all this stuff. It's Republicans too, man. This is mediocrity politics and we shouldn't be putting up with it. Gasoline should pretty much be free. Okay, there's so much, there's more now than there ever has been. The idea that it was a fossil fuel is, it's been overruled. I mean, we would have been out 20, 30 years ago if it was a fossil fuel. And we have more oil now than we ever have. This is absolutely asinine. It's stupid. You know what? I'm going to show you something. Look at this. We're going to go to, let me show you a little video here. Oh, look, there's the Martini lunch. You guys better be listening to it. Let's go to Los Angeles oil sidewalk. Four years ago, urban oil drilling takes over Los Angeles. There's toxic oil wells, they say. No. You'll see. Oh, not that. Oh man, watch, they're probably taking this off since I've seen it. How do you spell La Brea Tar Pits sidewalk? Oh look,
Well, I was just going to say that. What a mess out here. This puddle of tar just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Let me move out of the way. You can see some cones have been put up around it, but the tar is now seeping past the cones, and we're hearing a hissing sound that sounds like natural.
Los Angeles. They're calling it tar. It's crude, okay? It's coming up out of the sidewalks in Los Angeles. Don't they know you can't you can't have oil in the ground in Los Angeles? Oh my gosh. So right here, just look at all your environmental hippie stuff you got going on out there. It's all being destroyed by Mother Nature. The more you're trying to save Mother Nature, the more Mother Nature tries to destroy you. All of this gas is building up underneath us. You want to build a super volcano? Don't drill. The gas has got to come out. That's how volcanoes work. Imagine if you could relieve the pressure on a volcano. It wouldn't explode. You could save millions. You wouldn't have all that ash into the air. Think about how many billions of fish have died because of the Tonga volcano. How many birds were killed because of that? What's it doing to your lungs? How many people are going to die? More people have already died probably from asthmatic symptoms related to the explosion of the Tonga volcano than died in the last 3 years from other specific diseases. It's all smoke and mirrors. But let's keep
gas coming through, and I can tell you, we're also smelling the tar right now. If we can go to some video from earlier, we are right across the street from the La Brea Tar Pits, which is a national natural landmark where natural tar has been seeping up from the ground for thousands of years. Now, we have made calls to LAPD, but they tell us they don't know anything about this. Now, we're told that the tar pits are run by the Page Museum. We've left many messages from them, but we haven't received any calls back. Back here live. For now, we don't know when crews will come out to stop this tar from seeping, but I can tell you the puddle just keeps getting bigger and bigger. For now, we are live. Miracle Mile, I'm Brittany Hopper. Back to you guys in the studio.
Brittany's got a look about her like of mystery and mischief, doesn't she? Anyway. It's all stupid smoke and mirrors. You're stuck in it. Let's see if we can find some. Where's our good people over here at? Come on, I need my little thing get back up there. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Cinema mode off. Do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see. We got anything else happening here? Really cool. India Today is an awesome network. 1 billion people listen to it. And they have a whole thing, if I can find it ever, on pointing out fake news. Twitter vows action against fake news. Oh, wait a second. I don't need to do fake news. India Today, fake. Oh, that's good. I didn't realize that. Pakistan has opened a fake news factory to target India. No. I want stuff. Oh, 4 days ago. Where did that one go? Where'd that go? Signs law against fake news. Let's do filters. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do today. That's funny. Fake firing prank. No. Shame on you, Indian media. Oh man, it looks like New Zealand media is now attacking Indian media. Scam alert. I don't know. I couldn't find anything I wanted to do. I would watch this, maybe do a video on it. But it doesn't matter. What matters is, how are you doing? Where are you in today's world? What is happening? Let's see what's happening with the... I always like doing the weather. So we can do a... What happens if I do this?
Alright, hello guys. How's it going? In today's video, we're going to be going over the...
So I don't have any channels. You know, I have these ideas. I can find this stuff. It's gonna be right the way I want it. It never is. It's like everything in my life is. It's always see the pants. Oh, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Live cams. All I'm trying to do is just find a background real quick, so we can get back to chit-chatting about the idiocies of the day. Let's see here. Alright, here we go. We got a live cam in Kiev. Nothing is happening, of course. I've not seen any. You tell me if you see any explosions, anything like that happening. We'll go to them. We'll do the live thing. Anyway, how are you? So we've heard. Have you heard this? Sunday is the day when time returns to normalcy. Now I know you're gonna say that right now is actually the correct time. Well, that's stupid because the correct time is you need longer evenings. Okay, even knows like this winter. It's like in December, January. It's not getting bright before 7 o'clock. So it doesn't really matter if it's dark at 8 o'clock. We're not going out. Oh, hey, you know what I want to say? This also reminds me. So this is going to go back to fuel and gas. So you've got this whole this whole time change thing. And they always sold it to you on, well, it's to save electricity. That was how this whole BS started. We've always been trying to save electricity. Do you realize it's impossible to save electricity? That doesn't exist. That's a myth. There's no saving electricity. Electricity, when you build a power plant, it has to come online and it has to stay at that online thing. You can't lower it. It's not like it's on a dimmer switch. Okay? So this whole thing about saving electricity is a bunch of bull. All it is it's training. They're just trying to train you into listening to what somebody else says. That's just make-believe. It's a power trip for these people. But anyway, this whole like, oh, we gotta save electricity, so we're gonna do this, or you're gonna turn off, we're gonna change the time by an hour. That's gonna do it. And then they try to sell it to you on like, and like, it's really good for farmers because, they get up early in the morning to go milk cows. Holy hell, farmers are not taking a pail and bucket and sitting on a stool milking Betsy at 5 in the morning and they need daylight. Okay? Milk production is on a huge factory process. Cows are hooked up to machines. The machines suck the milk out. Then it gets shipped out. They do them 24 hours a day. You just take one set of cows out when they're done being milked to bring a new set of cows in. There's none of this like squirting into a pail crap. Who thinks that? If that were the case, milk would cost more than gold. Okay? Here's something else. When milk is cheaper a gallon than gasoline, there is such a obtuse, problematic lie that's happening in the world. Now, I say that, and the next thing you'll see is like, oh, hey, you know what? We need to raise the price of milk and we'll say it's inflation. Whether or not inflation is happening, they'll say it anyway, and they'll do it. They'll raise it up. But this whole time change, all it does is it messes with the psyche. Then they want to go out here and big pharmacy wants to sell you 10 million handfuls of drugs to take to combat your psychology, your mental state. How about just keep the time the same? That's 2 times a year, and I'll tell you what, it's not just a day for me. It's like a week probably. I mean, at least, right? I mean, if you recover from the time change quicker than a week, you're a miracle. I can't do that. Like, for me, I'm completely wasted at least a week. Probably 2 weeks. I just never feel right afterwards. And then when I start feeling right, then all of a sudden they start talking about the time changing again. And the other thing is about like, oh, well, you did the whole thing I started on with like, oh, the farmers in the morning, the farmers. Yeah, okay, well, let me tell you what. We don't have farmers. They're not like that. And what we need to worry about is in the evening time, you need to have some daylight when you get off work. You don't care about daylight in the morning. If you're getting ready, if you're doing a 9 to 5 thing, which by the way also is not the case anymore. We have really successfully launched a work from home economy, which is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This whole thing, like, oh, Joe Biden's like, oh, we got to go back to our downtowns. He is telling millions of people to get back in their cars, get on the streets, and sit in rush hour for 2 hours a day. You're going to be sitting there idling gasoline. You're going to be using billions of gallons more of gas, and the price of gas will be going up. Now's not you don't need to force this. The new norm needs to be, if you can work from home, if you can manage working from home, then you should be working from home. Coming into an office does not have to be a daily thing anymore. It's an old geriatric way of thinking. And for at least 50 years, they've talked about this idea where you can work from home, you can do the telecommute, you can talk on cameras and everything else. I mean, think about today. You no longer have the businessman that travels across country. You know, that used to be the big selling point of the Concorde jet. You could get across the Atlantic in a few hours. And you could leave it in the morning, make it to England for lunch, have a meeting, and be back in New York for dinner time. Okay? Now, imagine that type of travel. And that's what you had to do, because you had to have that one-on-one, that flesh-on-flesh handshake, that integration. I love that. I think that's great. But we don't do that anymore. And technology, which was the whole promise behind emerging technologies, is to be able to not have to do stuff like that. So now, instead of consuming all that raw power that they're so worried about, of getting to the airport, getting in a plane, flying across the Atlantic, flying back, getting back home, you can do that conveniently from your own home. You could be more structured in your community. You have more time to be able to be part of PTA meetings, church meetings, homeowners association meetings. You be part of your community. And that's a great thing. It actually builds for a greater society. We'd be less dependent on on pharmaceutical drugs, mood-altering drugs. If we were around people more often, we'd be happier, and we'd all really realize that we can coexist on this rock together. But instead, they just want to keep on pushing their stupid agenda. It's all based on control. They're all a bunch of Nancys and a bunch of self-righteous virtue signalers that are going to crap you down to the drain. They don't realize this whole, like, everybody getting a trophy. Yeah, everybody can have a trophy in their own thing, but not everybody has to get a damn soccer trophy, okay? I mean, the last thing I'm going to be doing is begin a trophy for playing basketball. I mean, it's stupid. Imagine a basketball player saying, oh, I'm going to start doing IndyCar racing. And I deserve to win. I deserve a trophy. I deserve all this stuff. They can't even fit in the freaking car. All this stuff, it's those who excel at the things they do, and they're rewarded by people that admire their constitution. And I've got another dog who's I'm getting ready to get rid of. Another dog, you go play in traffic. Golly bless. Out. Play traffic. Leave me alone. Puppies. It's one thing if they love me, but they don't. All they want to do is they want to take. So, this whole thing is bull. And anyway, this whole thing about saving electricity and all that stuff, and then you go back and you're going to say, oh, hey, we need to go back into these downtowns and stuff. The thought of having to work in a downtown, if you work in building A and somebody else works in building B, why do you both need to work in a building next to each other? It's stupid. You can work anywhere. I mean, you're connected 24/7. The freaking government is tracking you on your phones. We know this because of the pandemic lockdowns. They're tracking you on your phones to see how many people are out there, to see the traffic patterns and all this other stuff. All this, by the way, is an overstep of the Fourth Amendment. If it's not necessary for the government to be looking at your phones or to be looking at your information, the government is not allowed to do that. The government has their own resources and their own patterns to understand traffic patterns. They don't need to be going into private phone things, even though, yeah, I can sit here at my desk. I'm a government worker. I can look at my cell phone and see where there's congestion or whatnot. That's great. I understand that, but it doesn't necessarily mean, all it is it's more intrusion into privacy, which is something else that it seems like as we become a more private society, we're giving up more privacy. And that also is it's threatening to our complete way of life. But anyway, time for a drink. Let me get off here in 8 minutes. I mean, you would think that with all these cameras and everything in Ukraine, you would see the sky lit up, missiles firing, something. I've never seen a thing. Is that not the most odd, weird coincidence, right? Anyway. So what do y'all know? What else is happening? What else is the good parts of the world? I mean, everything's good, but the problem is that it's not a news anymore. It's a narrative. And the problem with a narrative is that my narrative is not right. Your narrative is not right. Nobody's narrative is right. The only way you get a narrative that is right, I say a narrative, I mean that is like this social planning that they're doing, is that you have to be open, you have to take all ideas, you have to bring all ideas to the table. I'll tell you, if you don't have Robert's Rules of Order, you need to buy that. You need to buy a copy. I'll tell you what, hang on a second. I got a book right here. Hang on. Ow. Get the Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised in brief. That is what you need. Mine's actually falling apart. That is amazing. My binding is falling apart in this thing. But you get the in brief, and that will honestly, Robert's Rules of Order is how you should run life. And you'll start to understand what I'm talking about. It's like the most important person besides the chairman who sets the agenda is the secretary. The treasurer is usually an independent person of the group. You know, there's no agenda behind a treasurer. These are very the rules are they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing how they worked out. And it happened just because this guy named Robert was sitting there going, man, like these meetings are chaotic. You know, you can't have this chaos. You don't thrive. You don't get anything done. But you can use these same rules in your life. You have to have an organization. You know, you have a fair. Robert's rules, I have always used them very loosely. So if I'm leading a meeting using Robert's rules, I don't use them against people. I use them for people. And you let people talk. But you also have to be, as a leader, you have to be able to understand people that are going to talk for too long and about nonsense. And you have to keep it focused, which is hard for me because, I talk about nonsense and I'm not focused. But anyway, with Robert's Rules, you have that, I don't know, it's like an outline to the way a conversation or to your life can be applied. And at the end of it, when you're done discussing, you put everything on the table. The point of a discussion, the point of a debate is to bring out the good ideas. And so that way when the final idea is passed, it has the best ideas in the room are put together on a piece of paper, and ideas that are found to be problematic are removed, but they can be brought back later when the problems are fixed. The idea of the problematic terms or idea doesn't mean that it has to be gone forever. It can always come back. But it's structure, and without doing that, you don't have advancement in your organization. If you don't believe that, look at how Congress is being ran right now. It is a one-party organization. There is no duality here, and there's no minority rights. Nancy has let it be known that that Republicans will not have a bill brought to the floor. So unless you can get a Democrat to work with you, you're not going to have any idea. And anything that has a spending amount attached to it, it's just dead. It's a travesty to civility, really. But anyway, Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, in brief. I'm a proponent of that. Check out some of my videos I've got about loose women on Ukraine. It's coming out. And I've got another one coming out this afternoon on, is that the one? No, that was last night's, was the cold. Let me see, what do I got here? Oh, did you know that Scotland is trying to become free? I know. It's like Braveheart was finally released in Scotland a year ago. And so now they're trying to become independent. I thought they were. I'm so confused. But the main thing about it is that all this stuff, both the loose women in Scotland, are about immigration. And they try to sanction racism. I think that's funny to see. Here's Europe trying to do the racism card like how they do over here. So, anyway, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to tip your bartender. Be good to each other. Ladies' night is 80s night. But I'll tell you what, you ever want to have a good time out dancing with the ladies, make sure it's a night that they're playing 80s music. The DJ's on the 80s music. So, anyway, love you guys. Stay safe. Stay true to yourself. Godspeed. And peace.